Oxygen levels.
Oxygen levels are at maximum.
Set a course for Dark Waters 9.
Do we really think this is an ichthyosaur, or could it be something else? Maybe something that rhymes with kragen. You see, this page on the FB posted this lovely video. This video of what mainstream science will tell you is a sea dinosaur. But if you're anything like me, you don't really trust mainstream science anymore. And when you look at things that they find in the cliffs of the United Kingdom, and you're told that it's some sort of sea monster, well, if you look with unprogrammed eyes, you see what that is. You for sure see what that is. You see that it looks a heck of a lot more like this dragon statue built in Sylvania in the early 1900s than this cartoon picture of an ichthyosaur. Yeah, something's sore, all right, my brain from believing this nonsense for 42 years. But if you're new to the idea that dragons were actually real and dinosaurs were the fictional thing, let me catch you up. Oh, and stay tuned till the end because there's something you might want to hear about. First, take a look at what the 1946 dictionaries used to say. Dragons, now rare. Interesting. Let's see what Alexa has to say about this. Alexa, how many dragon fossils have been found in the United States?
The number of dragon fossils found in the United States is limited. Only 5 fossils have been discovered so far, limiting the knowledge about these creatures. These fossils are studied by researchers to learn more about dragon species and their evolution. While the findings are preliminary, they provide insights into the life and times of these majestic creatures.
So the dictionary says they're real. Alexa says they're real. Several weeks ago in the UK, they found a fossil that looked like this, even though they called a plesiosaur. That sure looks like a dragon to me. And just a few weeks after that was found, CNN reveals that their scientist actually unveiled dragon remains. Not to mention how they're part of the Chinese zodiac with all real animals, and how there are over 30 verses in the Bible that reference dragons, and how my friend Lori sent me this amazing 1922 dictionary that just happens to have the word dragon in it. And let's see what it says. Is it going to say fictional character, mythical beast? Or is it going to say something else? Winged serpent. So why would they hide it from us? Why, when you go to the dictionary now and look up dragon, does it say mythical monster? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's because of that. Right there. And it legitimizes the Bible because it talks about dragons everywhere in the Bible. And I think we're living during a time of great deception. And the great dragon called the devil and Satan is loose for his little season and fooling the nations. And that's where this comes in. But I don't dare release hardly anything on him anymore because every time I do, I get account ban warnings and strikes and things taken down. So when I put it here, it seems to be safe. But let me just give you a tiny little taste on how that guy over there has been referred to as the dragon many times by Kanye, by the Chinese government calling him the Dragon King. But there's one in particular. One right here that you can read for yourself. The Grand Dragon of what? What is that? Right down there? Now let me show you one more thing before I leave you. Remember that name down there? Now, is it just me or is it a coincidence that that name that I just showed you sounds an awful lot and looks an awful lot like this, a Mesopotamian deity associated with wind and air and learning, and it's a feathered serpent that kind of looks like that. Wind and air and learning. Does that sound like a new one to you? Kind of sounded like Lucifer to me. You know, Lucifer, the Lord of the air and the bringer of the light or enlightenment or learning. You know, Lucifer, the dragon. You know about the Statue of Liberty, right? How that was its original face. It looks a lot like, you know, who just happens to, you know, match up perfectly with facial markings and everything with him. Yeah, I bet this is just a funsies picture. Kind of like how this thing that looks like a dragon and is feathered is just another coincidence that you know who happens to be talked about with feathers. An awful a lot. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. Like I said, that's just a picture they made for funsies, and dragons aren't real, dinosaurs are. Duh. Entertainment only. Now this.
I'm not too sure about the Cuckoo Clan dragon part, but I would say those dragon skeletons they found on the mountain definitely resemble a dragon. I mean, come on. Those things were vicious.
These things are amazing. They're laser engravers and they're from China. It's a relatively new technology, but you can take a rock, any rock, and basically engrave any design into it. You can take any rock or stone and just place it underneath this engraver and it'll just laser it out. You create the design on the computer. It's very easy, basically all automated. But this got me thinking. This ancient structure was apparently carved using hammer and chisel 1200 years ago. But when some experts look at it, it seems like there's marks of machinery. Almost like a laser has done its work over there. It certainly doesn't look like the jaggedness you would see from hammer and chisel. And it's a really common theory, keeping in mind that this structure was apparently made out of one piece of stone. It was carved straight out of the mountain, exactly as it is, from the top down. But when you see inside of it, when you see through the structure, it just seems so unnatural. It's not like anything else we find. It certainly seems like something that would have been lasered out of the mountain in that perfect square shape that it is. Anyway, as always, what do you guys think?
If it was some type of laser beam, how exactly would they be able to do the inside of these buildings is how I'm trying to figure it out. Like, yeah, it could laser engrave the outside, but getting inside and going around corners is a different story unless they were walking around with these laser projection machines, you know, sculpting out the entire canvas, or it could have been some type of portable drone. I have no idea. Kailasa Temple remains a mystery.
This is absolute proof we've been lied to about everything. The moon does not reflect the sunlight. Absolute proof right here. He's measuring the temperature of the moonlight versus the shade. And the moonlight is colder than the shade, which is the opposite of the sun. Here is another example for all of the sleepyheads. She's going to measure the temperature of the moonlight on one side of the car versus the shade of the moonlight on the other side of the car. You're going to see 3.3 here, and you're going to find that the other side is actually warmer in the shade, the opposite of the sun. The people that believe everything that they were told to believe just don't understand the nature of our reality. Everything is dual. Everything has its equal and opposing force. The sun is masculine. The moon is feminine. The sun gives off warm light. The moon gives off cold light. It is the yin and the yang, night and the day, the warm and the cold. All you need to do is use your own common sense. If the sun is reflecting off the moon, then why is the rest of the night sky black and nighttime? Makes no sense, does it? Because the sun is 93 million miles away, a million times bigger than the earth. All of the night sky should be lit up too, not just the moon. You just need to think, that's all. You can do these experiments at home yourself. Go buy a laser thermometer, set up a piece of cardboard, measure the temperature of the moonlight versus the shade. You're going to find that the shade is warmer. It's the opposite of the sun, because the moon is feminine and the sun is masculine. This is exactly how God created it. Stop believing your predecessors. They're leading you down a dark path. And the real truth is found within. Peace and love.
And Genesis says he created the light for the day and he created the lesser light to govern the night, I believe.
Okay, this is kind of blowing my mind. This is an experiment that you can either do with yourself or with somebody else. It's very simple. Either ask the person or yourself to sing at the highest pitch you possibly can. Just go like, ah, but do it as high as you think you physically can. Then either ask them or yourself to imitate the highest pitched singer in the world, and that the person will always come in higher than they just did when they thought they were singing at the highest possible pitch. And this is a technique that apparently works for a lot of things other than singing, but immediately the responses are people saying, oh yeah, this totally works. For example, one person said that when they were in choir, the teacher asked them to sing it like you were an opera singer, and that immediately the sound was bigger and better. I bring this up because I once heard somebody tell me that when they're struggling to solve a problem, one thing they do is try to imagine a smarter person and picture what that person would do, and that it usually helps them. That there are invisible barriers to doing certain things, and that you can make those go away by telling yourself that you are imitating someone else. Even if you're asking yourself in some interpersonal situation, what would the world's nicest person do? Or what would the world's most charismatic person do? Although my favorite response is this.
WWJD, you guys remember those bracelets? And if somebody asks you, hey, what's that bracelet? You gotta give it off and give it to them. That's probably why I don't have any right now.
Person saying when asked how they learned to dance so well, they said they looked at their shadow and moved it like a puppet. Okay, this is kind of...
I'm not tripping, right? You guys remember those bracelets. It was a bracelet that said WWJD on it. And it was like a fabric. And if somebody asked you what it was, you had to take off the bracelet and give it to them. Do you remember that, or am I tripping?
These three friends out fishing posed for a photo to commemorate the quality time spent together. None of them are fathers, and there were no children present at the time. However, it seems the shape of a small girl can be seen watching them. What do you think? These three friends out fishing
I think that's absolutely terrifying. She's got beef with that dude. Look how she's looking up. He better keep his head on a straight swivel.
There is so much off-limit zones in the Grand Canyon, including drones. And there is a very important reason for that. If you ask Google why so much of the Grand Canyon's off-limits, they'll give you a nice laundry list of generic answers. Cultural heritage sites, too dangerous for the general public, etc., etc. But it's not just on the ground that they restrict. So much of the Grand Canyon's off-limits, including by air travel and specifically drones. Just look at this National Park Service map itself. All the pink areas and the blue areas are all off-limits or restricted flight areas. And the yellow is restricted to anything below 18,000 feet. You see, if we had too many drones flying around, too many low-flying aircrafts, one of the reasons they got rid of airships as well, they would start having people ask way too many questions. The mining operations that clearly went on there, the ancient ruins that clearly are still there, melted and buried beneath the surface. Before heavily restricting the Grand Canyon, many articles like this from 1909 popped up. And many explorers like John Wesley Powell came forward saying they found Egyptian artifacts deep in the canyon. To protect the narrative, the parasites had to restrict access, much like many other great sites around the world. But with high-powered zoom on cameras becoming more and more of a thing, people are seeing glimpses of a past that they would like buried. Take a look at this video from some recent visitor of the Grand Canyon. Now this looks like, to me, clear as day, another one of those covered up and buried red bricked archways. Of course, the government says for your safety, you can never go over to that area or even fly a drone into that area to get a closer look. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
My question is how could somebody monitor somebody? Say if they wanted to send that drone in there, how could they monitor that? Guys, if I had a drone, man, I would take my drone straight in there if it had the battery life. It's the return journey. I'll attach it to a giant yarn of string, and as soon as it dies, the drone dies of battery, I'll quick reel it back in like a fishing pole. We need that footage. But seriously though, what do you guys think that's in there? That cave looks kind of like laser precision, like Kailasa. What do y'all think that's inside there? Alright guys, it's that time again. If you thought I didn't have another excellent specimen for you today, think again. Alright, you guys see it. Feast your eyes on this clear quartz cluster. Contains indistinguishable virtuous purple yellow fluorite cubes that shimmer like gemstones. It's also accompanied by pink petal. It does look like pink petals. Okay, I see it. I like to call those like pink frosted flakes. What would you guys name this specimen? If I had to name it, I would call it the Deadly Snowball. Oh my goodness. It is going to start snowing. What? We got a couple weeks, 3 weeks till we start seeing snow. What do you guys think?
We see a moving sidewalk. This is remarkable. I mean, think of the feat of creating this and then putting this out into the middle of the lake. Just absolutely remarkable. And then we go through all of these pictures. We have all these different people. You know, they show all these different people, almost like the people were on display. This is interesting. California is growing a lot of oranges, which now we know there's the Florida orange instead. Now, these cute little boats were carrying all the materials. That's what they tell us, because that's the Christopher Columbus, the Pinta. Remember that whole story, which is funny? Interestingly enough, food in a pyramid, which I thought was fascinating. And then as we go a little farther in here, let me kind of scroll a little bit here for you guys to see. But then we get to all these different buildings, and they say each building was temporary. Now, this is interesting, because this looks like a church. So they just put this up over the summertime, and then they just built all of these. I mean, it's comical at this point. I think most of people, if you followed my page, you know, or you've seen my videos, I don't think any of this is what we truly believe. It looks like there was a very advanced civilization who knew how to build things like this, and they vanished. Or there was some sort of mud flood, or almost a static field event, in which everything just maybe flipped. And everything flipped upside down, and then mud came down from the sky. Because there's a lot of weird stories about, like, fish coming out of the sky, and all these different frogs coming out of the sky. I have a book on that, which I'll go over too. But look at these more old buildings. Each one is a state. Each one has a name. And when you look at these, you know, they don't look too temporary. And what's interesting is they said that this was all made out of paper mache, which is funny because if you think about how much time it would take to make this out of paper mache, I took a paper mache class in like 6th grade. I mean, surely, this one looks like the White House again. And then just more buildings. This is interesting. This is the largest piece of gold in the world. I believe it says that it represents $16 million worth of gold, 228 tons of gold. So if you think about that, I mean, this is just sitting around, just hanging out, big piece of gold, like just, you know, just hanging out. And then we get into all the traveling sidewalks. This is a good one. You just stand on the sidewalk, and the sidewalk takes you. So what's interesting is O'Hare Airport actually has this, but this was outside too. So see, they kept a little bit of things in Chicago, and then they pretty much demolished the rest. Here's a big horse. We see a moving sidewalk.
Speaking of a big horse, check this horse out. Like, look how small the people are compared to the horse. Like, that's a person right there. Those horses are absolutely massive. And look, they had a mammoth. We're going to have to go through this book live one day, for real. I got like 5 of them.
This just looks like another rock in the river. But what if I was to tell you that it's actually the top of a 600-year-old castle that hasn't appeared in over 20 years? I came looking for this castle in March of this year, and I found its location by looking at the old maps from the 1800s and then matching that up with satellite imagery. And I found nothing. So I assumed that the castle was long destroyed, until I got a message from a local a few days ago saying that an unusual rock was now appearing above the water where this castle should be. And I should explain that in the 1950s, the River Lee in Cork was flooded to allow for 2 new dams, one in Macroom and the other in Inniscarra. Because of this, there were a number of buildings that were lost, and one of them was Castle Inch. The only reason it's showing up now is because the water levels have been This just looks like...
We would have to go deeper and see what's really going on in this castle.
This is very special dirt. Got it from a ditch on the side of the road that sometimes has water, most of the time doesn't. It was very dry when I picked it up, but I put it in some rainwater and I left for a month. Came back and that water contained some amazing things. Have a look at that. That is just awesome. Every speck you see in there is alive, but these are the star of the show, the shield shrimps. They have fossils dating back 360 million years, about 100 million years before dinosaurs even existed on Earth. And amazing as well, fairy shrimp. They're both brachiopods. And we've also got clam shrimp, the third group of brachiopods. They're in there somewhere too. They all popped out of this dust when it was hydrated. And they only live in temporary waters. So, unfortunately, they're pretty rare in the landscape these days because we've destroyed their habitat. But the last shield shrimp in southeast Melbourne that I could see a record for was actually, funnily enough, just across the road from the Yallock Willem Nature Reserve at Ripponlea Estate. And that was found in 1890. So there must have been some puddles around with these guys still existing in them back then. And we are recreating that kind of habitat on the reserve. So what a nice thing it would be to be able to see those temporary pools filling up in autumn and then bursting to life with all these alien-like creatures that belong here but are so strange to us.
Now these are fascinating. It's like he got his own little prehistoric aquarium.
This is the craziest, trippiest sculpture art piece I've ever seen in my life. It looks like a spiral, both going upwards and downwards at the exact same time. And the longer you look at this thing, the less it makes sense. Try to keep your eye focused on two different points and watch them come together.
That is. I wonder what the name of this shape would be. Some type of helix.
Right here, and tell me if this doesn't blow your mind. That's a human hair right there. This is the Apple CPU, the little chip that's in your phone or your computer. Yeah, watch it and tell me this is not fallen angel technology. I don't know what to say. Because nobody can make something like this. Not even a laser can shoot down that far and create something like this. Yep, just keep watching. We're going way deep. Oh yeah, we're not done yet. It goes further. Yep. And we hit the bottom. Right.
It definitely makes you wonder, how do they make those chips?
People are claiming 3I Atlas ships are touching down in Russia. Is it possible?
Are these supposed to be smaller ships that broke off AI 3i Atlas or what? And this is supposedly in Russia. Alright guys, that's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is Monday Mysteries. Go ahead and drop Monday Mysteries in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You actually rock with your boy. You made it to the end of the video, and I just want to say thank you for your support. Be sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't. If you're watching on the TV, go ahead and hit the up button and click over a couple times, and you should see the thumbs up icon. Go ahead and slap that for your boy. Every bit helps, and I just want to thank you guys so much for your support. This was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place.